Number 1 goes to Spotify, gets the image. Number 2 goes to Soundcharts using automation scripts. Number 3 goes back to Soundcharts using make.com and builds out the last 90 days. We're going to turn the Airtable demo we've been building into an A&R Research tool using Soundcharts and make.com. Go to the artist table. Establish a relationship between the artist table and a new child table called artist metrics. Link to another record, create new table, allow linking to multiple. Head into the artist metrics table, add a date field, call it date, and pick one metric. Let's say TikTok followers. This will be a number field, numbers without decimals. Create, head over to make.com, configure a trigger for your scenario to be a webhook. Select custom webhook, add a new webhook, give it a name, relational A&R Research. Save, copy to clipboard. Back into Airtable, we're going to find the automation where we left off the last time. You recall a new artist gets added to the base. We find the Spotify URL and ID. We then go out, make a request into Soundcharts, find all of the socials to build out the social graph. As soon as the social graph is in Airtable, we're going to run another script with these 3 lines. Line 1, insert the webhook URL you just copied from make.com, and then configure the one variable of record ID to be the record ID from the trigger. Come back into make, save, and run, and then test. Successful. You see the record ID came through in the webhook. Now we're going to get the full record using an Airtable module, get a record, find your connection in make.com or establish a new one. Select the base, the artist table, and the record ID from the webhook trigger. Save that. Let's run it and test. Test. And now you'll see we've taken that record ID and we've gone back into Airtable and gotten all the details about the full record. The one thing we need from here is this Soundcharts UUID, which is going to allow us to make an additional request into Soundcharts API. Add a new module, select HTTP, make a request. It's going to be a GET request. The body is going to be type raw. Content type is going to be application JSON, and we're going to parse the response. There's 2 additional headers that we're going to need in this request. As you can see down here, we've got X app ID and X API key. So let's type those in. And give me a second to insert my unique credentials. Now that my credentials are in, let's start building out the API request URL. Back into the Getting Started section, let's copy the root URL, start by pasting it, and then back into the documentation again, find the endpoint you want to use. In this case, from the artist section, we go to Get Audience, copy the back half of this URL, paste it right in here. Now we have 2 merge fields here. The first one is called UUID. We know how to get that. That's the whole point of the get record step from the previous module. So let's bring in Soundcharts UUID. And for this purpose, we're just going to hard code that the platform is TikTok. Save, save, test, test, and check the results. You already know status code 200 is good. Data, items, and there you go. You have 90 days of TikTok follower data at your disposal to bring into your base. Next step, let's add in a flow control iterator. Set it to iterate on that array of data. Hit save. The next thing you're going to do is create a record back in Airtable. Select the base. Select, in this case, the artist metrics table, where the artist is going to be the artist from the webhook trigger. The date is going to be today's date, so we'll use this timestamp. TikTok followers is going to be mapped from the iterator, the follower count value. Boom. In fact, let's not use the date from the timestamp. We're going to use the date from the flow control iterator. Bang. Save. Boom. In the artist detail screen, we're now going to add a chart. That chart is going to reference artist metrics. The x-axis is going to be the date. The y-axis is going to be the TikTok followers. And the chart will be a line. Publish. Add artist. Gracie Bond. Create. And now we sit back and we watch the automations stack up from the last 3 videos. Number 1 goes to Spotify, gets the image. Number 2 goes to Soundcharts using automation scripts. Number 3 goes back to Soundcharts using make.com and builds out the last 90 days of TikTok followers to allow us to see from where this artist has come and what their trajectory has been prior to being entered into our A&R Research tool. And there you go. In the next video, we'll talk about how to continuously be checking for the follower accounts on an ongoing basis and how to establish and configure your Airtable base to do so. Thanks for watching.